Well, it took a couple of weeks, but I finally got my truck back, and so today I'm gonna go ahead and take that CCV box off of here and put my delete kit on there. Like I said, I don't want to have these oil leaks. I don't know that this CCV box is the culprit. You know, I can't prove that this new Ford box is what caused the truck to leak, but it's just awfully suspicious that a few months after I put that on there, it started leaking not only the oil pan, but the box itself leaking. So anyway, might as well just get rid of it. That way I don't have to worry about it anymore. So I got my kit over here, and just gonna get this stuff out of here and start putting it all together. And I went to the hardware store and bought this little sink strainer. And I think what I'm gonna do with that is put that on the end of the hose that I ended up zip tying to the frame rail, you know, just to keep insects and things like that from getting up in the hose, you know, can't hurt. So first thing I got to do is I got to get in here and take this old one off, which requires me to take the fuel filter has to come out, the hot side pipe has to get, you know, moved out of the way. And then I've got some access. The hard part is getting the hose off of the intake, but it's doable. So I guess I'm going to begin here with getting this fuel filter disconnected. So I'm going to put a blue shop towel under here. Now, these fuel filter lines, I don't know, at least on this truck, have never been that much of a problem. I know that some people seem to break these things off pretty often, but I'm not one of them, at least not yet. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's a lot of fun, because it's not a lot of fun. Sometimes I like to go ahead and get this one out of the way in the back before I do that middle one. Yeah, heck, got a little bit of diesel running out of that one this morning for sure. Alright, now we'll try and twist this one. There we go. Not all that bad. Like I said, not a whole bunch of fun, but not all that bad. Now we'll lift this fuel filter up out of here and keep it turned upward so that the fuel doesn't run out all over you and everything else. I'm going to set this aside. Alright, now I'm going to move this hot side pipe out of the way, and in order to do that you got to stick a long screwdriver back in there and release that snap clip that goes around there, and then that whole thing will slide out. But first I have to loosen up this 7mm up here on the intercooler end of it. Let me do that real quick. Alright, now I'll reach back in here and try to get this snap clip released. I think I got it, I don't know. It's hard to tell. You know what I think I need to do probably is use a pick on it. Alright, I got the hot side pipe out of the way. You can see that snap clip that you have to release down there on the lower end. So that's out of the way now. And now I can get to the CCV box to work with it. So this end of the hose just slid right off. Now on the old one there was like 3 tabs around there that I had to release with a pick in order to pull that off, but this one just slid right off. Strange. So I guess I'll go ahead and cap that off first for safety, and then I'll go back there and start trying to get the bolts out of that box and remove it. So instead of using the one that was included with the kit, I ordered this nice silicone block off thingamajig. See how it's constructed of really high quality stuff, because this thing's going to be in the engine compartment, right? So it's going to be subjected to heat cycles every day. If that flimsy rubber cap on the end gets to where it deteriorates and falls apart, that's going to get sucked. The end of it's going to get sucked right into the turbo, which is not good. So I bought this heavy duty silicone version here, and hopefully that will hold up a whole lot better. Got diesel fuel everywhere, that's what I got. So I got that bolt out, and I got that one down there out. And so now I just have to get back there in the back. There's two back there in the back that are kind of a pain to get to. So I'm probably gonna get some knee pads on so I can crawl up in the bay of the truck and reach back up under the firewall and try to go ahead and get those out of there. But I will say this 2023 and newer version of this CCV box is smaller in size than the old version, and that does make it a little easier to get to the bolts. Let me tell you something, the older version was a real nightmare, so shouldn't be too bad. Let me go ahead and get those two out, and then we can take the box out. All right, I finally got this old, well, the new but old CCV box off. You can see where this thing was leaking. See how wet it is under there? So I don't know if it was leaking. Looks like it might have been leaking from that pressure relief valve right there. I think what that valve is supposed to do is when you're under wide open throttle, I think that's supposed to close off the flow or something. But it looks like it's been leaking. So it's really wet and nasty up in there. I don't know, man. This is the newest version of this box, and I just don't know about it. I don't know if I can trust it. I'm gonna hang on to it just in case, but yeah, we're gonna delete this crap and put some stuff on here that we know is working properly. So essentially what I'm doing now is just trying to put all the pieces together, because they give you a whole bunch of pieces here. So I'm assuming, obviously here's the plug for the front, and then back there in the back, this has already got a nice O-ring on it. So I'm assuming that this goes on the truck first, and then this part goes on there, and then this threads into here. And I guess you can angle this whichever way you want to, depending on which way you want to route your hose. So I'm going to leave this loose. I'm going to go ahead and thread it some, but I'm going to leave it relatively loose for now. There's some O-rings included in the kit that you put in here. There's one that I put on this side. So now all I gotta do is figure out where this O-ring goes, and we'll start putting this stuff in the truck and figure out how I'm gonna route my hose coming off of here, to go down to wherever I want it to go to. All right, it's in there, and you can see what it looks like. So I ran the hose up that direction toward the engine and then looped it back down so that I could avoid kinking the hose, because you definitely don't want to have any kinks in the hose. So it's in there. I'm not 100% happy with how this particular kit is designed, because those screws that they give you to mount that to the valve cover there, I don't know, man. I guess it works. We'll see if it works, but it just doesn't seem like the best solution to me. But I got this kit really cheap. It's one of the off-brand kits, so you get what you pay for, I guess. Seems like a really simple item to me, so if it works, it works. So I'm going to try it, but at least it's in there. So now I just have to zip tie everything and button it up, and we'll see how much vapor comes out of the bottom of the hose down there. All right, now it's time to fire this puppy up and see what happens. Hopefully I don't have diesel fuel spilling all over the place. Wipers came on. I'm going to prime it a couple times since I had the fuel filter disconnected, just to make sure that we get the air out of there. Let's do it again. Yeah, I hear it gurgling, so might do it one more time. The last thing you want is any air in your fuel system on one of these things, because that can be a future disaster. All right, I don't hear any more gurgling now, so here we go. Well, I don't see diesel fuel spraying out of there, so I guess I got it hooked back up. Let's go under the truck and see just how much vapor is coming out of that hose now. I really don't see much vapor coming out of there at all. I can feel it though. It's obviously got some air coming out of it. You can definitely feel it. But I just don't see the mist coming out of there, so it should be good to go. And like I said, you know, how you route the hose is pretty important. I'm going to try and show you where I routed the hose at. So you can see how it comes down there from in front of the firewall. There's no kinks up there that I can see. And then it just runs right down here. And I've got it zip tied along the frame right here. So as you can see, there's no kinks in it. And like I keep saying, that's kind of a critical step here, is to make sure that how you route your hose is such that it's not interfering with any moving parts and it's not kinked. I guess that's another project done, and now I do not have to worry about whether or not the crankcase filter is getting plugged up, or if there's some kind of issue going on inside of the box or any of that, because now it's just a straight shot out of there. So time will tell if these plugs, like that cap right there or this stuff back here, is going to leak any oil around those O-rings. Guess I'll just have to keep an eye on that, but I think everything's good to go now. So one less thing to worry about.